Hi again, welcome to my channel. My name is Essie Jane and I am a newish reseller on platforms like Poshmark, Mercari, eBay selling women's clothing. I posted a video last week about my sales from the month of September, and after mentioning that I had sourced several of those items that I mentioned on Poshmark and then resold them online for a profit, I got a couple of comments asking me to talk more about how I do that. How to find items on Poshmark to sell on Poshmark or some of those other platforms for a profit. So I realized that there are a couple of barriers to this. One of them is that sourcing online is generally going to be more expensive than buying items at a thrift store or the bins or buy-sell trade stores, simply because you have to pay shipping fees most of the time. Sometimes you'll get a deal with free shipping, but most of the time you also have to factor that in. So even if the item that you're purchasing is similar to how the thrift store would price it, say a pair of jeans for like $8, $9, you're still going to have to pay over $7 shipping on Poshmark. And so it can definitely be more intimidating to jump into sourcing online if you don't know what you're looking for. The other barrier is that a lot of people just don't feel comfortable doing this. They feel like they're taking advantage of other people selling on Poshmark. And the way I think about this is that there are two groups of people selling on Poshmark. One of them is us resellers. We are actively working to seek out items that we can purchase and then make a profit on by listing them with better quality photos, better descriptions, measurements, really providing a customer service experience. And then the other group of people on Poshmark are people that are just cleaning out their closets and they want to make a little bit of money, and their priority is to sell things quickly rather than make the most profit that they possibly could. So they could take these items to Goodwill and donate them. They could take them to a buy-sell trade store and get $3 to $6 an item for them, or they could list them on Poshmark and make definitely more than they would have at the buy-sell trade store. They're not necessarily interested in holding out and waiting for that bigger sale price. So to me, if somebody has something listed below what I know I can sell it for, or they're willing to accept an offer that I send them for lower than I know I can sell it for, that's on them. If they would like to refuse my offer or list their item at a higher price, they're welcome to do that. But if they're happy to get rid of that item, get it out of their closet, and accept the price that we agree upon, then I see no problem with that at all. Isa Diaz from the Global Collective Co., I've mentioned her a few times. She's amazing. You should follow her and do everything she says. But she posted a video a couple weeks ago about this very topic. So I will link that below. And yeah, she just goes into a little bit more detail about whether or not sourcing items this way is just constantly lowballing other people. So check that out. That being said, there are tons of videos already here on YouTube by other resellers who have covered this topic of sourcing online. I'm going to focus specifically on sourcing on Poshmark and sites like that today versus sites like The RealReal and ThreadUp. But if you want kind of a more full view of how to source online and all the different ways you can do it, I will link several videos below from other creators that really helped me to get comfortable with this and learn about sourcing online. So where do you start? Where do you figure out what you should be even looking up? How do you learn brands that you don't know about yet? Because I know when I started and I was sourcing primarily at thrift stores, bins, or liquidation stores, I was picking up items from Target, new with tags, or I would be excited to find a Free People item, or, you know, those Lululemon leggings, and those are kind of reseller bread and butter. I think the most like expensive brands I knew of at that point, just from personal experience, were Madewell and Anthropologie. So when I go over some of my flips today, they're gonna be brands that I didn't really know much or anything about prior to starting reselling, and I've just slowly accumulated knowledge by watching other resellers what sold videos. That's a great resource. Taking notes, there are all those BOLO lists out there. And then another great way to learn new designers and brands is just to look at what's been selling on Poshmark, filter for different price ranges. If your average sales price right now is kind of that $20 to $40 mark, search what's been selling between $50 and $100 on Poshmark and start adding those brands and designers into your mental list of what to look out for. And then figure out what your target profit is. So for me, my target profit is $50-ish. I'm satisfied with 40. But kind of I'm targeting $50 profit and above. And I sell most of my items right now between $100 and $200. So I know that if I purchase an item for $40, I have to sell it for at least $100 on Poshmark to make that $40 profit after fees. So I just know that in the back of my mind, and so if I come across an item that I think I can sell for $100, I know that I shouldn't pay more than $40 for it. So figure out what that is for you. If your average sales price right now is $20 to $40 and you want to expand that and bump it up a little bit, start looking at and absorbing what is selling at that target price point you want. Figure out what your target profit is and kind of work your way backwards to see what you would actually be comfortable spending on items. And then start searching those out specifically. So let's say you notice that there is a certain style of shoes that's consistently selling for $75 on Poshmark. That's above the average sales price that you're normally working with right now, and this is a style of shoes that you're unlikely to find at Goodwill. Or maybe you found it once and it sold for $75 and you've just been hoping that you'd find it again at Goodwill, but instead, you decide to actually seek it out on Poshmark or other platforms online. So it's consistently selling for about $75, and you feel pretty confident that if you find it in the right condition, you can sell it for $75. And then you know that you want to profit at least $30 to make it worthwhile for you. So working our way backwards, subtracting that 20% seller's fee, you know that if it sells for $75, that you're going to get $60. You want to make at least a $30 profit, so you know you need to buy it for no more than $30. So you just start searching. You maybe will need to search this every day for 2 weeks before something pops up at that price point that you're comfortable with or close to it. Let's say somebody lists it for $35 plus shipping, and you know that you need to keep it under that $30, so you offer them $23. And that's definitely below their asking, but they accept it, and now you have your item for $30, you list it, you sell it for $75, and you just keep repeating that. So it can take a little bit of patience to finally come across the item at the price point that you're willing to pay for it, but then you work your way up. So I've gotten very comfortable paying between $40 and $100 for items that I can sell for between $100 and $250, and eventually I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable paying even more for that if I'm really confident that I can make profits of $100 or more. That's kind of my goal for next year, but for now I'm really just trying to repeat over and over and over that $40 to $50 profit, so I kind of know exactly what I'm looking for. One of the first flips I really enjoyed that I purchased on Poshmark and then resold on Poshmark was a Suzanne sweater. And Suzanne is a brand that I was just sort of familiar with previously because I had followed them on Instagram for a long time. I thought their photos were really beautiful. I enjoyed kind of using them as style inspiration for myself, even though I didn't personally own any of their pieces. And I knew that kind of their thicker, chunky knit sweaters were like a very popular best-selling item for them. So I guess one day, I don't exactly remember, but I guess one day I decided to just see what was listed as far as Suzanne sweaters on Poshmark. So I probably just searched Suzanne, the brand, and then filtered for the category sweaters. Maybe I filtered for price lowest to highest, I'm not really sure, but I came across this listing, and it had free shipping offered on it, and it was $40 for this thicker sweater from Suzanne, and the title is just pink Suzanne sweater, and the description was pink sweater from Suzanne. So not a ton of information, but I'm not purchasing this for myself, so I don't really need to know if it's gonna fit me. All I need to see is that it's in decent condition at a price that I know I can profit off of. So I go ahead and I buy this. It comes in the mail, it's in great condition, I photograph it, I take measurements, and I include some of the stock photos from it to kind of show what it would look like on for somebody who's interested in buying. And it sells 5 days later on Poshmark for $121. So that was kind of my first like big flip. I profited on that $53. So that kind of gave me the momentum to keep trying this, to keep trying to find items that were listed below what I know I could sell them for on Poshmark and flip them. This next one was a brand that I heard of from another reseller's What Sold video. This was Nilly Lotan, and I had heard this designer's name mentioned several times in other What Sold videos, and items selling for well over $100. Decided just to check it out and see what I could find. I sorted by price lowest to highest on Poshmark, and I came across this sweater. So this was listed in March. A lot of people were starting to buy summer clothes already, and this is a big, oversized, thick alpaca knit sweater. So it was listed very low at like $30, and the original price on this was $850, which is insane. But I went ahead and I snagged it up, and it sat for a long time, about 8 months, but it just sold last week. It sold on eBay for, I don't know why it says this, it didn't sell for $247. It sold for $175. Still not bad for an item that I picked up for $30 plus shipping on Poshmark. So after all the fees, that was a $100 profit. You'd have to wait a little while for it, but I have sold other pieces by that brand and they've done really well as well. And that was one that I just learned from watching other What Sold videos and noticing I'm hearing this name over and over again. I want to do some research for myself and try it out. So if you're watching my videos or somebody else's videos and something is just piquing your interest and you hear this name over and over again, search it. See what's out there. See what the cheapest item on Poshmark is, and maybe it won't sell for a ton, but maybe you can sell it for a good profit. And then just try it out and figure out kind of what their best-selling styles are and what you'd be comfortable paying for one of their most popular styles, even if that's way beyond what you would normally pay for an item. So an example of that would be the brand Misa Los Angeles. I had never heard of this brand before I started reselling, but I noticed it popping up in a lot of resellers' videos about what had sold for them or what they were sourcing. So I searched it. First dress I bought on Poshmark from them, I made a $27 profit, and then the next one made a $100 profit on, which was really great. And so that specific style I searched out again, and I made a $66 profit on that one. And so I searched it out again, and I bought it again, and I made a $40 profit on that one. So profits were kind of all over the board, but I bought the same dress in different colors and sizes multiple times because I realized that this is a really hot item for them. And so that was just, again, listening to hear patterns of what's selling really well and then searching it out for myself. So another great trick when you find an item that is priced really well for you to resell is to look at what else the seller has listed in their closet, because maybe they have a lot of similar styles and brands that they're cleaning out all at the same time. Purchased an item from this seller, and I had noticed this dress in their closet, and I was definitely intrigued by it, but I had never heard of the designer before. And I did a little bit of research on it on Poshmark, and it didn't seem like it was crazy popular. And this specific style, especially, I couldn't really find a lot of information on how it was selling. So I did not purchase it. It was a little bit above what I would be comfortable paying normally. So I just kind of left it alone. And then a couple of weeks later, I was watching a What Sold video by another reseller, and she mentioned that she sold a dress by this designer for over $400 on eBay. It was kind of a similar style. Not exactly, hers was a little bit nicer, but I was like, huh, that kind of reminds me of that one dress I was looking at and researching the brand. And I went back and found it because I knew it was in the closet of another item I had purchased. I went back and found it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a chance. So I sent her an offer, she accepted, and I got this Jonathan Simkai dress for $60 plus shipping. Again, kind of taking a chance on a hunch, but it worked out. It sat for just under 2 months for me. After 54 days, it sold also on Poshmark for $258. So my profit on that was $133.40. And since then, I have definitely sought out more Jonathan Simkai pieces. I'm still learning which ones sell best from that brand. I'm paying attention to what's selling. I kind of go on that what's sold recently page frequently and see what people are wanting, and then I search what's just in. I'm looking for this on the RealReal and places like that, but this is definitely a brand that I've kind of added to my repertoire just because I noticed one other reseller sold it one time really well, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna give that a try, and I did, and it's working out really well for me. And lastly, I want to talk about a flip that I just did this week. So I purchased this item last week, it came in, and it just sold this morning actually. So one of my favorite things is finding those blogger favorite or really popular styles from Zara or other high street brands like H&M, but specifically Zara is a really great one to start with. And this is fun because you can find these pieces at thrift stores, buy, sell, trade stores. If you know what to look for, if you know what those blogger favorite styles are, you can keep an eye out for them. And I have recently found a couple of dresses at a consignment shop and at a buy, sell, trade store that are blogger favorite styles, but their blazers sell really well. So in the month of September, I sold four Zara blazers for really good profits each time. And so going into October, I was like, I want to restock those. I want to have lots of Zara blazers because people want them. So I just started searching what those popular styles were, what was selling for a really high price point between that $100 and $200 mark. And then because it's Zara, a lot of people selling them don't really realize the value of the item they're selling. It's just a Zara blazer, you know? It's just from a mall store. So you can find really good deals on those most of the time pretty quickly. Like there's some styles that everybody knows are sold out, really hot, popular. It's gonna be really hard to find. But I just did a search on a bunch of different blazers from Zara, and I bought I think 5 of them last week. And so this one was the first of that batch to sell. I purchased it for $46 with free shipping. And then it just sold this morning for $121. So my profit on that is gonna be almost $50. And that happened really quickly within a week. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is just kind of a live search with you of an item that I'm currently looking out for, and that is an item I've been selling a lot of lately, which is jeans by the brand Mother, specifically straight leg jeans. So I'm going to show you how I search for that, and I may or may not find anything today. We'll just have to see. All right, so I'll record my screen, and then I'm just going to look up the brand Mother, and I'm going to put on a bunch of filters. So filter for all sizes, filter for a specific category, we'll do straight leg, and then I'm going to filter out some of the smaller sizes because it is a lot harder to sell anything smaller than a 26. It definitely can sell, but it takes quite a bit longer for me. And then I don't really want colored jeans, so I'm going to filter only for blue. And then I'm going to just see if I sort by price low to high, what do we come up with? Let's see, these look like they have, yep, they have a hole in the butt. No thank you. These don't look straight leg, those look skinny. Don't want those. Let's look at these. My daughter is up from her nap now and she's coloring, so you may hear her chatting away in the background. Sorry about that. Yeah, these look like they've been mended also. Don't want that. What's this one? Mother, the Dropout. Very wrinkly, very thin. Pilling. Nope. Let's see. They're size 27, high-waisted straight leg jeans, frayed hem, $50. See, these don't say the style name, and with jeans it's a little bit harder to do like reverse Google search to find that. I'm gonna pass because that's a little bit more than I want to pay for something that I don't know what it is. These look pretty worn. Yeah, the Rascal doesn't sell super well for me, so I'll pass on that. Broken in jeans. Yeah, see, just not a lot of information on these. If it was easier to identify the style without them listing it, that would be nice. And we're kind of getting to a point where these are too expensive. Unless I see something that I know is kind of a knockout at this price point. Yeah, so I think we're not gonna find any. Ooh, the Dazzler is a good one. Oh, and it has a front zip. Interesting. But this looks like it's another reseller, so they probably, yeah, it's got a stain. They probably have it priced as well as they can. So I'm just gonna check, let's check flare and wide leg and see what comes up. Ooh, the Runaway, this is kind of a straight leg style. Very worn though. These are interesting, but the zipped greaser loop. Interesting. I've never heard of that. Definitely has a few likes. Let's see. I like the stock photo on this one. Size 30. The Runaway. Let's just bookmark that to see. This person hasn't had a good time selling it, so might not be good. Runaway Backstage Pass. So I'll just click on this. Again, opt into all the sizes. Search Runaway. Oopsie, spell it right. Jeans. And then just filter by what's sold also. So this sold for $130. Looks like a different wash and it's new with tags. This one sold for $150 in a darker wash. Yeah, kind of that same one sold for $90. Yeah, that doesn't seem amazing, to be honest. So I think I'll have to pass on those also. So yeah, not a lot of luck there today. But if I had seen an item that was kind of close to a price I am able to pay to profit, I would have sent an offer and then seen if that got accepted. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes, and I just kind of do that every couple of days with a few different brands, categories that I like to sell. And it definitely changes based on the season. Jeans are selling really well for me right now, so I'm trying to source a lot of them. Jeans, jackets, you know, all those fall and winter essentials. Dresses have slowed down, but in the summer I was searching all my dress brands really frequently. So yeah, I hope that kind of gives some insight onto how I source online. Like I said, there are going to be a bunch of links in the description of other sellers' videos about how they source online in different platforms and all of that. So definitely check those out. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend as always, and hopefully I will see you back here next week.